Hello everyone and welcome to this video. My name is Derek Smith with the Intercessors Investigative Group. In this video I'm going to talk about how a private investigator can help your divorce case. Now I know that this is a difficult time for folks, and hiring a private detective agency is one of the ways that you can reduce the strain and the chaos that comes with a divorce. Perhaps due to the fact that both parties can enter the proceeding with more accurate and verified details. Now, family issues are difficult for anyone. There's just too much emotion involved, and it's best to get a professional, such as a lawyer, to help you deal with it the easiest way possible. Having a lawyer is a given when going through a divorce or other family issues, but have you thought about the invaluable help that a private investigator can bring to the table? Going through a divorce can be an arduous experience for just about any couple, and difficulties are compounded when children or other dependent family members are involved. No matter whose fault, it's typically the case that there are disagreements over those events which caused or contributed to the divorce, and the method of going through the divorce and the practicalities of dividing obligations and assets make it even worse. While these events will regardless pose difficulties for a couple, they are sometimes worsened by not obtaining true information. When the facts can indicate one of you has to pay significant sums of cash or grant access to kids, it's unsurprising that divorce proceedings are wrought with fabrications and misrepresentations and disagreements. Luckily, you will find ways of fixing such challenges at once, meaning that an honest and proper settlement is at the fingertips of divorcing couples, however sour the event is. Private investigators, also called private detectives or private eyes in a few jurisdictions, can be hired to set the record straight. So let's begin with looking at why you should hire a private investigator. And before I do that, I want to tell you exactly what private investigators do. So PIs are highly trained professionals who seek, verify, and analyze information on an issue utilizing a variety of specialist methods, including surveillance, interrogation, fact-finding, and local informational sources of information. Most PIs are contracted by attorneys or insurance companies or individuals and other professionals with investigative desires, but individuals are also able to seek the services of PIs for personal or small business matters. Divorce can be a busy domain for private investigators, and private investigators' discreet nature is frequently among the principal attractions for hiring them. For the most part, divorce entails private issues and events, such as adultery or domestic violence and deceit, and PIs are usually well-rounded and proficient individuals trained to explore a wide assortment of items, including complex financial and organizational problems, which may be highly relevant in some divorce cases. So hiring a private investigator is often not part of what's considered the norm when going through a divorce, but this is often because of misunderstanding regarding the services that a private eye can offer you. Private investigation services go beyond just uncovering affairs or identifying offshore bank accounts. A private investigation firm working with a family law firm can help build a stronger case aside from just digging for possible family secrets. This is because private investigators know where to look for information and to do so in an efficient manner that does not compromise the information so they can be admitted in court. By obtaining information correctly, there are fewer errors and there will be a stronger case. Legally obtained information is key to building a strong case because only legally obtained information can be presented correctly. When filing for divorce, either or both partners must define if there's fault and where that fault lies. A fault divorce is one where blame for your divorce is delegated because of the actions or inactions of the other party. Of the traditional fault grounds, the allegation of cruelty, which means inflicting physical or emotional pain, is the most common. But there are others. They include adultery, desertion, imprisonment, and sexual dysfunction that was not disclosed prior to marriage. In every one of these scenarios, a judge will probably require proof of this alleged fault, and this is really where PIs come in. Gathering proof of fault without the guidance of an investigator is not advised, since it might put either of the spouses in a risky position in the eyes of the judge, and the methods utilized by an untrained and emotional partner can impact the results of the legal case in negative ways. Investigators are used to tackling the dangers related to exploring fault. In addition, investigations are conducted in such a way as to adhere to proper laws and procedures. Divorce can bring forth a negative side to many spouses the other has never seen. Nowhere is this more widespread than in connection to making financial contributions to child support. Many times, a deep mistrust of the other spouse usually means that they will attempt to hide or obscure assets, delay wages or incentive obligations, and misrepresent income in order to lessen any legally mandated child care payment. Through database or surveillance financial investigations, investigators expertly track down the real assets and income involved with such types of situations. An investigator's job is to make sure your coverage is reasonable and true, so you aren't left with undue financial burdens in regards to raising a young child. When one spouse knows that he or she is likely to be required to pay support, he or she may attempt to make his or her earnings look lower. He or she may consort with a boss to delay bonuses and other employment privileges until after the divorce. He or she may take a temporary cut in hours in order to reduce earnings. If the spouse owns a business, he or she may take steps to decrease the value of the business, such as taking on additional debts or delaying collecting on monies owed to the business. Another strategy that a devious spouse may attempt is to reduce official working hours and then work off the books for the same employer or a different one. On the other hand, a spouse who is receiving financial support may be participating in similarly devious conduct. For example, he or she may be living with a romantic partner and may not report this information in fear of losing such support. Private investigators can help you unravel these schemes by analyzing financial documents or conducting surveillance. It's not simply the financial support of a young child that is an issue throughout divorce. More often than not, the events that lead up to the divorce indicate to one or both spouses that the other presents an issue for the child's welfare. That is particularly the situation where adultery or alcohol and drug usage is in play, as the offender might well not be open to taking care of the little one. These are extremely serious concerns which have consequences not merely for the divorce, but for the individuals involved in case some criminality like child abuse or neglect is detected. Again, private investigators can seek out and notably confirm or deny allegations regarding any of these activities and relay that back again to law enforcement that are subsequently placed to put protective measures in position for the child, whether that be a complete denial, restriction of custody, or a form of supervised parenting time. Whether it's neglect or elder abuse, private investigators can look into details, monitor interactions, gather data, and record necessary information in order to validate possible abuse. It's very important to gather information in a way that still renders the said information to be admissible in court, especially for matters regarding financial fraud. Qualified private investigators can conduct investigations discreetly and in a compliant manner to make sure data remains viable as evidence. In only rare cases are assets broken up in a manner that both partners are in agreement. Whether the disagreements stem over mortgage responsibilities, gifts, car payments, company valuations, or inheritances, investigators can find financial asset information from a variety of sources. Utilizing this research, attorneys can assemble a more accurate and more rigorous plan for the division of assets upon awarding of their divorce, which means a more amicable settlement and lower legal penalties. Private detectives are specifically beneficial in scenarios where both partners suspect that assets are being hidden. It really is, unfortunately, quite common for one or both partners to attempt to hide their assets during the divorce proceeding and settlement process. Next is background checks. Wanting to find out whether someone is who they claim to be is perfectly normal, especially if that someone has contact with your family and your children. Because asking some questions directly can be awkward, hiring a private investigator for a background check is a smart way to ease your mind and find the right answers. Next is infidelity investigations. It can be hard to get a straight answer if cheating is suspected, so having a private investigator confirm or validate suspicions with discretion is the best course of action. Next is surveillance. There are times when the only way to get peace of mind is to know what is going on when you can't watch it. Private investigators can document what happens when you're not looking to validate, confirm, or uncover information. And finally, technological investigation. Each piece of data leaves traces even after it's been erased. Uncovering this is necessary for the investigation of fraud, hidden or missing assets, possible infidelity, and so on. Experienced investigators can examine gadgets, offices, vehicles, and other sources of information to uncover truths which may be intentionally destroyed or damaged. Look, with divorce rates on the rise throughout the world, couples may face a whole slew of difficulties whenever choosing to end their marriage. The great thing is that hiring a private detective agency is one of the ways of reducing the strain and chaos that comes with a divorce, perhaps due to the fact that both parties can enter the proceeding with more accurate and verified details. A private investigator can help find these assets, confirm or deny and obtain proof of allegations, and be a great asset in court as an expert witness. If you're going through a divorce, I know it's hard, and if you need help, the intercessors are here to assist you. You can reach out to me at www.theintercessorgroup.com or 1-800-918-0420. If you want more information on my investigative services, you can watch an embedded video here. Hopefully this video has been a primer on how a private investigator can help you with your divorce. If you want to learn more, check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you in the next video.